to Views by Beck. Today I would like to talk about inspiration. I remember meeting someone and he did things quite differently. His belief, the way that he treated people, everything that he did was very different. And at that time, I would always just wonder, like, how in the world do you just let people get over on you? It took me some time to actually realize that he wasn't letting people get over on him. He was basically protecting his peace and choosing his battles wisely. Oftentimes, we are filled with turmoil, we are filled with stress, which then breeds a downward spiral in our mind and our lives. It essentially becomes like a monopoly effect where everything around us just starts to go down the hill. So it's important for us to be able to identify exactly what it is that's causing this havoc in our lives. And most times, once it gets to that point of the monopoly effect, it becomes really difficult to be able to identify the culprit, because it's not really exactly one incident that occurred. It's a series of incidents that took place which caused it to become, the stressful life that you have now, gotten accustomed to. So what I wanted us to realize is that you're in control of your life and your destiny. And I know it sounds cliche, I understand, but hear me out. See, what I won't do on this channel is I'm not just going to give you a cliche sentence or a quote and say, okay, that's it, have a great day. I'm not going to do that. What I will do, though, is I will explain and try to give you, I guess, a how-to walk that cliche into your life. Basically, how to walk the talk. So I don't want us to just talk the talk, I want us to walk the talk. And in order to do so, I will be giving you an example of how to implement this into your personal life so that you can also start living stress-free. So I know that stress is inevitable. We all know that. As long as you are living, there will be stress, and it's inevitable. I get that. However, what if I tell you that if you are able to identify the stressors in your life and you are more equipped to curb them, that you will have a life that's filled with less stress? So we're going to dive into that a little bit more. Now, back to the guy. One thing I noticed about him was that he was just very calm in most situations, and he hardly spoke in an angry manner. And whenever there was conflict, his aura alone just kind of brought peace. It's like if you're so angry and the guy shows up, he didn't escalate the situation. And just his calmness alone radiated throughout the room to whoever was having conflict, and always kind of made things more peaceful. And I noticed that about him. And growing up, I've always been taught, I think like most of us, not to speak when you're angry and, all these other things. But honestly, it's hard. It's hard not to speak when you're angry, because you just want to let people know how you feel, what they did to hurt you. Trust me, I understand. It's extremely difficult to not speak when you're angry. But I can guarantee you that when you actually delay speaking until when you're calm, your message has more effectiveness than if you were to speak in anger. Because when you speak in anger, even though your intentions may be valid, your delivery will mess up the whole message. So if you're speaking to someone that you love that actually hurt you, whoever it may be, your brother, your sister, a friend, whoever it may be, if you speak to that person in anger, it's not going to end well, it's not going to come off well. But if you wait till you're calm to speak to that person, it's actually going to kind of lubricate the message, so to speak, so that they can actually receive what you're saying to them. A lot of people when they speak, they say the right things. The content of the message is never the problem. It's the delivery of the message. And that's something that I've had to basically learn over the years. People will say, oh, 99.9% of the things that you say, it's actually correct and it makes a lot of sense, but your delivery was just so off. And, so I've actually learned over the years that it's not so much of what you're saying, it's more so of how you're saying it. And saying such things in anger it's just going to bring you stress. Trust me. So let's just try to be mindful of speaking when you're angry. And another thing I wanted to point out was I come across a lot of people that tell me stories, about whatever conflict that they found themselves in, or they were trying to make peace with someone else's conflict. And, I try to listen in to what they're saying because I'm not involved. So it's easier for me to just listen from someone that's on the outside looking in and be able to just, be objective with my opinion. And whenever they tell me, oh, I tried to make peace, and then they tell me the story, it's usually the opposite of the story. So, most times they come across, when they tell the story, as a bone carrier. A lot of times we play a role in a situation and we're not aware of what our role in that situation is, right? So if I have two people that are going at it, whatever the case may be, but I am cool with both of them, and I happen to be the bone carrier, you're speaking negatively about that person to me, that person speaking negatively about that person to me, and I'm just in the middle, and I'm basically going and carrying the bone. That's also you escalating the situation. Your goal is to de-escalate a situation. So in that type of situation, for example, me personally, if I have two friends that I know, or two people that I know, and they're saying negative things about each other to me, I honestly don't believe that you should sit and take in all their hate about the other person that you're also cool with. I think it's a weird situation to be in, of course, but this is the times when you have to be honest. I feel like if you truly love your friend, you'll be honest with them. Number one, the hate that they have for the other person is not helping themselves. It's really not. It's not helping you being in the middle. It's not helping them. So it's important for you to be honest with your friends, be honest with your loved ones. Let them know that, hey, this hate that you're carrying is not helping your life. Let it go. What else can you do to end this and move on? Because if you continue to enable that negativity and hatred within that friend of yours, to me, you're not a friend. That's just how I see it. Because if we were to be friends, I would actually want you to elevate me, not really enable me to continue to go in the downward spiral. I would want you to elevate me and tell me when I'm wrong, tell me when I'm right, just to make each other better people. And the only way to do that is to be honest instead of being a bone carrier. So, back to the bone carrier. So oftentimes we think that we're making peace, but we're actually just a bone carrier. And in turn, we place ourselves in situations that we need not be in, and we then carry on the stress and the burden and the drama. And you don't need that in your life. So we have to ask ourselves, am I a bone carrier? You have to evaluate yourself. I do this often. I evaluate myself a lot. At the end of the night, I honestly sit and I evaluate how my day went with my kids, with my husband, with everyone that I came in contact with. Was I pleasant? Was I nice? Was there any time that I lost it? What could have been done differently? Because the whole purpose is to grow. If you're no longer growing and you're comfortable just being, snapping on people or whatever it is that you do, that's not okay. You have to change that. So the only way to do that is to evaluate yourself. So this particular person, back to the guy, some may actually call it boring, but he was observant and listening most times. So it's important to listen and observe a lot. He was observant, he listened, and as a result, he rarely got offended by things. He laughed a lot at things that other people may get upset about. You may make fun of something that he's doing, and other people may get upset by it, but he doesn't. He just laughs about it. And I later found out that he's laughing about these things, not because he's stupid, but because he doesn't give attention to negativity. He doesn't want to give attention to things that doesn't serve him. And one thing I've learned over the course of the years is that laughter is absolutely the best medicine. So he avoided situations that would basically not please him. And I started to learn so much as I was interacting with this individual. And sometimes we place ourselves in situations that are not beneficial for us. We all know this. You know that if you go to that location, so-and-so is going to be there. You don't really get along with so-and-so, but you go anyway. You anticipate that there's going to be a problem, but you go anyway. I personally would say if the environment is not, it's not suitable for you and your peace of mind, just don't go. There's no big deal. You can avoid negative situations. However, if you are full of love and light, and you're strong enough to be the light in the midst of darkness and not be influenced by the darkness, then I would say yes, go there and maybe you can change someone's point of view. But if you are one of those that say, God is still working on me, don't go. He's not done with you yet. So just stay wherever you are. Don't go, and avoid the negative situations. You don't need to put yourself in those situations at all. The individual that I was speaking of earlier, he wasn't aware. He wasn't even aware that he was actually the light and the inspiration that he was to so many people around him. So to conclude this video, I think it's important for us to know that we're a mirror to someone else. Someone else is literally looking at your life, and we don't realize it. And sometimes you're just living your life, But if you're living a positive life and sending out positive energy to people, people are watching. They may not say anything, but they're watching. And the hope is that you'll be able to change them for the better, so they can, see what it is that you do, see how you're living, and just mirror the positivity back to themselves. And that's basically the goal. And I want you all to think, am I an inspiration to someone? What kind of inspiration am I to someone? These are important questions that basically needs to be asked in order for us to make a positive impact, because that's literally what we're here to do, is to make a positive impact. So of course, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you spending time with me today. Please do not forget to subscribe, share the videos. Also, the email will be posted shortly where you can send in whatever situations or questions you may have. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.